Good evening, all. I hope you can hear us. I hope you can see us, and I hope we're hopefully live with you. Please let us know, as always, in the comments if you can see us, if you can hear us, just to let us know that we're not talking to ourselves. I tell you this every week. I was thinking earlier I should come up with a nicer introduction. It's not overly professional, is it? But I always have this momentary blip of fear when I hit the little button that it's not actually working. I tell you this every week as well. We're terrible with technology. So I really do need help. Lots and lots of help. But that's a different story. This evening, I have got myself and Peter here, and we are going to bring you a brand new sneaky peek at our new collection, which is launching exclusively on Highlight Crafts this week. Show times are going to be Thursday, the 13th of February at 9 AM and 12. And then on Friday, the 14th, Valentine's Day, we will be with you at 10 AM for 2 hours, taking you through till 12. So 4 hours of goodies coming your way on Highlight Crafts or liveshopping.vip, depending on what you know it as. I'm not too sure what I should call it, sorry. So yeah, but we'll be there on Thursday and Friday. Lots and lots of goodies to bring you. And tonight we're going to have a little look at what we will be bringing you. But before we do that, should we go over to Hostage Cam and say good evening to Peter? Because I always forget to introduce him, so let's say hello.
I think the camera needs a new name. I like Hostage Cam, but we need a new name, don't we?
Well, you always
I'm still here.
Oh, here we go
again.
I was waiting for the I'm still here. I'm still here.
Please help me. But now I got out for a little bit. Come see Wendy. Come see Lynn.
You've been out more than just going out to see the DT people, haven't you?
But Valentine's, I think you need to, treat me.
To what? A better backdrop?
Yes, please. Somewhere sunny and nice.
Obviously,
that would be lovely.
You don't just want a better backdrop. You want a different country.
I do. Yes, please.
Oh, last week I wasn't very well, was I? This week Pete's not very well. So if you hear sniffing going on in the background, apologies. Let's have a little look and see who has joined us this evening, and then I promise we'll start showing you some new goodies. I'm really looking forward to tonight's release or sneaky peek. Genuinely, this is something we've been working on for a while, and I'm so pleased and excited to be bringing you this one. So we'll get to that in a second. Evening, Sharon, lovely to have you with us. We've got lovely projects by Sharon to share with everybody. Evening, Angela. Oh, Wendy's with us as well. Lovely projects from Wendy too. Very pretty frame. I'll show you that shortly. Tammy, evening. Lovely to have you with us. Kim, evening, Samantha. Evening, Lynn. Oh, lovely projects from Lynn as well to share with you. Good evening, Lisa, Sue, Fran, Aisha, Sue, Sheila, Kim, another Kim, Catherine. Wow, there's loads of you with us this evening. That's lovely to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining us. Kim, another Jamie. Jamie or the pub decision. We just went to the pub earlier to make sure I was home in time. I like the fact you didn't skip the pub, Kim. That you've been, I can't tell you too much information, but our WhatsApp group for our DT have been chatting about you and your pub antics this week, haven't they, Peter? Have you read that bit? I know that you don't read all of the bits. No. There has been Kim chat pub related. More will come clear of that next month. That's all I can say at this stage.
Maybe this month.
This month? Is it this month? Oh, don't tell me it's this month.
Might be this month.
I don't know. It'll come clearer later down the line, but I can't tell you anymore. Oh, Michael, good evening. Are you going on the craft store? That's a lovely little question. We have no plans at this stage, but never say never. We never know what we're doing. If you're not worked out by now that we never know what's going on tomorrow, if you haven't, then we do a very good job of bringing up a disguise of organisation and professionalism, possibly. But there's no...
We do?
Well, if they don't work out that we don't know what we're doing from 1 minute to the next. We went live going, what's the question going to be this evening? We've got the most simple question for you because we couldn't think of something else in the 1 minute we had till 7. So, yeah.
Your volume, possibly.
Oh, volume. Oh, thank you. I forgot
Thank you,
to.
Sharon.
Every week I forget to do this, don't I? I was thinking this earlier. I needed to remember that. Sorry, going to be really loud.
We've now deafened them all.
Told you, not professional at all, are we? So, okay, shall we get showing you what's going on? If anyone has any questions, then please let us know. Evening, Janice, evening, Marguerite, evening, Dawn, evening, Kim. Thank you for letting us know, Sharon. I like the way that Sharon told us to turn the volume up. She knew that what we'd done wrong We've got them better trained than we are, haven't we? Thank you all. So, okay, shall we delve in and have a little look so you don't have to listen to us waffle too much this evening? We have a couple of demos planned. You can start, if you want to, letting us know if you would like to win what we create by letting us know, as I said, really simple question just because we've run out of time. What's your favourite colour? It's going to be really simple this week. All you've got to do is tell us your favourite colour and somebody will win the cards that we create on the live this evening. If you want to start getting those in now, it'll save you coming back to it later. I will remind you later as well. With favourite colours in mind, is Peter going to hand in the first little thing for us?
Sorry, I was getting distracted by comments.
That's
I'm
right.
just reading. Sorry.
It's lovely to have so many of you here. So we're starting with colour, Peter.
Are we going with colour?
We're going to start with colour. We did plan this, so, you know.
Kind of.
So, okay.
Even they're in order of the colours.
Are they?
You're
Well
impressed,
done.
aren't you?
So then, I can't remember when because life's becoming a blur. But recently, we launched our first. What side have I got to go? Gemstones glitter. That wasn't planned, but it's here. Our first Gemstones glitter. Now, I told you at the time more would be coming. Today, we bring you more. We have 4 brand new colours. And this really is about us building up a library. There will be, and again, giving you sneakies already, there will be more colours. There will be a little bit of a gap between this release and the next release. But I don't think I've got a towel that you can see of these, but you know our Gemstones texture based. We've currently got 12 colours. 12 colours in Gemstones texture base. This brings us up to 8 colours of our Gemstones glitter. So we're going to have to add the other 4 colours at some stage. Now I'm going to give you a little hint with this so you can plan ahead for them. The new 4 or the next 4 colours will be Christmassy. So it'll come when the Christmas collections start coming out. But today we're not Christmas. We're very much not Christmas, but we very much need some sparkle. So let's introduce you to the 4 colours in case you haven't already worked them out. We have got Violet Sapphire, Larimar, Aquamarine and Pink Sapphire. Now these are just as sparkly as the ones we bought you previously. We bought you last time, if you haven't seen them, we bought you Rose Gold, Heliodor, Black Onyx and Argentite. So in sort of simple terms, a rose, a gold, a black and a silver, but we have our fancy gemstone names to them. So these are going to mix in with those brilliantly and bring you these 4 new shades. So we've already had a little look at Aquamarine. This one is our Violet Sapphire. We then have our Larimar, which is the most beautiful periwinkle colour. And hopefully you're seeing this sparkle come through on your screen. These are so ridiculously sparkly. And then lastly, we've got Pink Sapphire. Now this is the first new product which we'll be launching exclusively with liveshopping.vip or Highlight Crafts, as you may know it, this week. Is there any questions so far? I can see lots of scrolling, but I didn't want to go back to it because if I didn't want to go off on a tangent.
No real questions yet.
Pangent?
I'm sorry if I missed them.
Oh, are they all getting in their colours?
Just getting the colours in.
Good, good. That's what we like to see. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. I personally, we haven't done too much mixing yet because of, obviously when we bring them to you in a collection, we like you to see how this collection works. But personally, I think you bring in those golds and those silvers to that little mix and we're going to have some really fun combos going on. Now, as we've seen with our glitters when we've been playing with these previously, we can put them over our self-adhesive sheets, we can put them over double-sided tape, we can sprinkle them into our texture paste already of our Gemstones texture paste to create new colourways, and of course we can put them in our clear texture paste, and these are just a few ideas for you. But those are brand new and will be launching this week. Now, of course, I keep referring to the launch date, which of course is going to be the 13th, Thursday the 13th. That will be our first show with them on liveshopping.vip. But they will also be coming out to all our stockists, all our trade stockists on Monday the 17th of February. So just a few days later, but Highlight Crafts or liveshopping.vip as we know it will have its exclusive period from Thursday right the way through till Monday. So that's going to be your first chance and place to get hold of them. Now we move on. We've sort of shown you the sparkly bit that we need. Now we're going to move on. Now this is, I love the sparkles, don't get me wrong, but this is really, really exciting. So we're going to start off going back in time a little bit. Now I'm going to try and remember, when did this come out? we're going to go back to, I'm going to say June? No, July, August maybe last year.
I thought it might be September.
I don't know. Sometime last year.
We aimed for early, didn't we?
You can tell we're vague on this because we don't have a memory at all. I apologise. Again, we should know this stuff and we don't. Last year, when we started in June, the first thing we thought we was going to do, basically, when we decided, being honest with you, we decided we was going to open our Jamie Rodgers Crafts brand, and we was desperately trying to get everything together. It wasn't a planned for at all back in December of the year before. So we was working our little socks off trying to get everything ready for you. And we said, well, we're going to bring out a stamp collection to begin with. And the reason for doing stamps is that we can do them a lot quicker because if we can have them produced in the UK, then we can potentially bring over dies and bits which all have to be manufactured in China, and there's a lot more delays in that. So we started off and we said we're going to design a set of stamps. And we did that. Now, a few things got held up along the way, and it ended up actually being, I think, our third or fourth release that we did because of just the way timings happened and Christmas come along, and we launched in June and we'd got to do Christmas in June, July and that. So it's kind of all got moved around. Long story short, but it meant that we ended up with our stamps. And so many of you at that time and since then have said, I would really like to have dies to go with those stamps. So today we are bringing you the dies to go with those stamps. And we're going to start off actually with the dies to begin with. But I didn't want to, and this is again, lots of waffle, so forgive me. Like when we did Cuddly Clan, which has just come out, we gave you the dies and you've just got the outlines of them, and then we gave you the stamps. And we did that intentionally because of inside the outline for the Cuddly Clan animals are all of the other bits to go with them. And that's a way of us keeping down the price for you. So we can bring you a stamp and a die set that's really low in retail value, or lower than it would be if we infilled the dies and made them all independent pieces. But this time round, we didn't need to do that because of the objects are full. So instead of just bringing you the outlines, which we could have done to go with the stamps, I said, no, what we're going to do is we're going to bring you standalone dies so that you have this set of dies that you can use completely on their own, but they will match up and go with the stamp set. So maybe you've already purchased the stamps from the Floral Lace collection and you're now looking to just add the dies to that release. You can absolutely do that. Maybe you're not a stamper. Maybe you only do die cutting. Brilliant. This set is completely standalone and is going to work for you. And this is something that was really important to me because it just gives you that ability to choose to go for the dies and the stamps, or just the dies, or just the stamps. Okay? So the first one we're looking at is our lace butterfly. Now in this set, and there's lots of waffle this evening, so I really do apologise, in this set is 7 different dies. And that means that you have a separate outside die, you have your separate lace die. So if I bring these in actually, let's show them to you in this format. So this of course is your filigree panel, if we can show you that part. So that is going to cut all of that filigree work and it's going to stay in your card. So you don't have to trim that out if you don't want to. If you wish to, you can do, but if you want, it will just stay in place. You then have your outside die set. Now this matches up perfectly with the stamps. So if we bring that over the top of the stamped image, you're then going to be able to cut out that stamped image. Then on top of that, you've got the little butterflies. Now the little butterflies match up, of course, with the little butterflies in your stamp set. But again, being honest with you, when we started this process doing the dies to go with this release, we come up with this idea, which is kind of a bonus. They do match your stamps as such, but they don't match your stamps as in they're a solid die, so you're not going to want to use these to match your stamps. But these are emboss plate dies, which is kind of a new concept to me because I've not done them before. But these literally will emboss as they go through and give you the most beautiful details on your die cuts. So I'm going to lift this up. Hopefully you're going to see this. This is tricky because we're on white. But can you see the level of detail that's going to emboss on these two at the bottom? So you've got 2 embossed dies, 2 outline dies, the big outline to go with the stamped image of your big butterfly. Then you've got your filigree part that's going to stay in your card or can be cut out with the outside die. Then on top of that, you've got your antennae bits to go with them. And I always call them antennae, and I don't think that's what a proper name, is it?
I think so.
I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it isn't. Every time we have a butterfly and we talk about antennae bits, somebody tells us the right name. So please do tell us what the right name is, because we will miss out. So that's our first one, but there's loads to go with this. So I'm trying to show you everything in one go. But obviously we've got the original collection from the Floral Lace collection to go with the Floral Lace dies. So the new product will be the 5 dies we're going to introduce you to and the 4 glitters. But there's also all of these original items which all work in conjunction, both with the dies and the stamps. So I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of all of it, if that's okay. So lots of waffle, I apologise. So you've got your die set, then you've got your matching stamp set, bringing you the butterfly, the 2 individual butterflies, and the antennae bits that we're going to call them, although I think that's probably wrong. Retail price for your lace butterfly die set is $14.99, before I forget to tell you that. And then your stamp sets are...
No, you're asking.
I can't remember.
You're on $9.99.
It is $9.99, is it? I had this awful panic. They were $11.99, but they're the DL ones, aren't they? Yeah.
I just suddenly saw these eyes looking at me. I was like...
With fear in the eyes. So $9.99 for your stamp set. Of course, they're already available and you're going to find them in lots of places, but we will be taking them onto the shows later in the week as well. Then on top of that, when we did this first release, we also bought you stencils to match. And the stencils are designed to go with the stamps, so you can lay the stencils over them and you can colour them. You can also use the stencils completely on their own, and they make great embossing abilities as well. Loads of different techniques we can do with these. But of course, just like what they did with the stamps, you can bring this in and you can match it up with the die. So you might wish to use, and I haven't got one of these out of their packet already, so we'll delve into this one, but you might wish to use just the outside bit, go over the top of the die set and add some colour going over the top of that bit, leaving the die in the card like you can see it here, which is just a different option for you. Then on top of that, we then have MDF elements. Now the MDF again are ones that come out when they come out with the stamps, and these match up again so that you can stamp your stamp on top of the MDF. You can also choose to put your dies on top of the MDF as well if you wish to. So lots of options with those. These also fit with inside the stencil. So when we come to stamp our stamp, we're delving into all of these packets. Pete's going to have a nightmare in a minute putting all this back. Your stamp will then fit over the top of your MDF, so you can stamp that perfectly and match everything together. So this is what we mean about having the ability to sort of mix and match throughout the collection. So just in the butterfly alone, you've got the die, the MDF, the stencil and the stamp. Just trying to open up as many opportunities as we can to kind of explore all different types of craft and styles. In your MDF, you also receive the little butterflies that of course match in with the little butterflies on the stamps, and you also have those on the stencil as well. So everything sort of coordinates throughout the complete set. Now, we can't leave you with just that one, can we? And as I mentioned, there are 5 dies. So let's scoot over to the next one. And we'll show you some samples shortly going through all of these different bits. So our next die set is our lace balloon die set. So again, we have got the outside to the balloon. We have got the filigree insert panel to the balloon. And we have the banner. And I'm going to lift the banner up for you because I really like the little embossed detail that's running around that scroll, which just gives it a really professional finish. So again, can be used completely on its own. You don't have to have the stamp set, but if you do have the stamp set, then it's going to match up perfectly and you can then come in and cut out that part. You can of course cut out your banner and you've got your matching stamps within this set to go over the top of that as well. So lots and lots of versatility with those. There is also a matching stencil. There is also a matching set of MDF. And something I haven't mentioned is there's also a hanging mobile set that goes with the balloons and with the butterflies as well. There's 2 different ones, a balloon one and a butterfly one. So if you want to make hanging bouquets, you can do that as well. So loads of ways you can use those. Now, before we move on to the next one, I'm just going to see if I can catch up with any comments because I will waffle for England and that isn't fair. So let's have a little look and see what we've missed. Oh, Sue likes the butterfly. Oh, Fran says it could be a decorative bow. Absolutely. This is the great bit, isn't it? The more toys we give you, the more you can go off and sort of create with. As somebody told you it was August. It was August, thanks Lynn. I never know what month we're in. I struggled earlier when I had to work out what month we're currently in. Honestly, I never know where I am in life. Helen. Hi Jamie and Hostage Peter. See, you've got a nickname. I love this. We've got you a nickname. Hostage Pete. I don't know if that's...
I missed that comment.
Yeah, it's hidden, so I thought I'd better have a read.
Oh, okay.
Hope you feel better soon, Peter. Oh, that's kind.
Thank you.
We all know how generous Jamie is. That's why he shared his germs. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to sneak peeks, Jamie. My favourite colour is magenta. Oh, very nice. Fran, those bits are on a butterfly head are antennae. Their tongue has a different name. I didn't even know butterflies had a tongue. I always get amazed by that. I often have this chat, and here I go confessing my little things that go through my head.
David Attenborough's out.
It's not David Attenborough. I never work out how an ant has all of them bits in it to function as an ant. That bothers me. How does an ant? And I don't know. I've never really looked into this, but I imagine it's got to eat, so it's got to process. It's got to have a stomach. It's got to have a bowel. All in an ant. How does that work? How does that all fit? So a butterfly having a tongue doesn't surprise me, but I've never given it any thought. But I don't know.
Could get the pollen out, isn't it, I guess?
Pardon?
Could get the pollen out of the flowers, isn't it?
I suppose so.
No.
Yeah, that's my random thought. That's one of my random thoughts. I have a few of these random thoughts. I shouldn't confess too many of them.
You are joining us live on Nature Hour with Jamie Rodgers.
I have a random thought about water as well, but I'm not going to share that one because that's a bit weird too. So we'll move on to the next one. But don't forget, drop in any comments or any questions, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. So I told you the balloon was $12.99, didn't I? Before I forget, now this is a set and a half. This is our flower set. This one is $17.99. Now, it should actually, and again, far too much honesty, and I don't know if we ever should tell you quite as much as we do, but this set should actually genuinely be a lot dearer than that. But I really wanted to bring it to you at an affordable price. So we've just taken a hit on it, being honest with you. And it's because I've got a bit carried away. There are 18 different dies in this die set. And this is because I fell in love with these embossed dies. So we've got basically a complete set of embossed dies, which could have in theory been a set on their own, but I wanted to include them in this set for you, so you've got everything in one set. You then have all of the outside edges to go with the flower stamps as well, and then because we've got room inside these two biggies, basically it's down to what room we've got. We've put in 2 lace style flower dies for you as well. And these two, again, because of the outside edges are separate, you can cut them into your cardstock and leave them there, or you can cut them out with the outside edge. It also means you can make backing plates to go underneath them. So I'm going to show you the board in case that doesn't quite make as much sense as it is. My waffles don't always. So this means that you've got the filigree bit, you've got the outside edge to cut that out, you've got the outside edge just on its own, and then again you can layer them if you want to do them in different colours and build them up. And then down this side, and I'm going to try and lift this up so you can see it, you've got all of your pieces with the embossed work and then the plain work to them as well. Now, being honest with you, again, I should have that on a little catchphrase somewhere because I just think it's nice to tell you what's going on. When you normally design a stamp set and a die set to coordinate, you would do it at the same time. If you do it at the same time, you make sure that everything fits absolutely perfectly. Because we've done this after the event, we've gone back to it. There are a couple of bits where the stamps are more delicate than we can physically do with a die. When we design dies, there's a certain amount of room we have to leave between each cutting point so that we can actually make the die, it can actually function. You don't have that with stamps. Stamps, we can be as thin and as delicate and as dainty as we want to be, which is how we can make all of that mesh work going around the edges of the butterflies, and it's no problem. So going back and revisiting a set is a little bit more tricky. So there are a couple of bits where we're not as dainty as I would like to be, but I think you'll agree when they cut out, they look brilliant. And I'll show you this when we get onto them shortly. But for instance, like in between them petals, we've got a little gap there. That would have been nice to cut that out. It's physically not possible. But we've done the heavy lifting for us. We've taken the die, we've taken all that bit out. If you wanted to snip in there with a pair of scissors, you absolutely could do. I personally haven't bothered. But I like you to know the story and how these things come together and how we end up where we end up. With the flower die set, so not only do you get the embossed panels and the outside edges, They're also, of course, going to match up to go with the stamps. This is, of course, your stamp set. So your die set was $17.99. Your stamp set is the same as our A6 stamp, so it's $9.99, giving you all of the different panels. Now, I'll show you this when we get to actually show you some cards and bits in a minute. I hadn't really twigged till halfway through my demo or through my examples that now I'd cut these flowers out, because I always really loved these flowers, but now I'd cut them out, and I was cutting them out and I was sticking them flat on my card, or sort of padding them but sticking them very flat. It then hit me that actually suddenly now they're cut out, I can shape them, which is kind of silly, but honesty for you, to know now that I could shape them was really lovely and gave me new options. We then have the stencil set to work with that set as well, and you've got the matching MDF that comes together so you can stamp your flowers onto the MDF, just so you see an overview of the previous collection with the current collection. We'll then move on to die number 4. I'm conscious that I'm going quite slow, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. So we're going to go on to the next one, which is our square die set. Now this one is probably one of the ones that I'm most in love with as a die set, and giving me the ability to cut into my stamped images, because of usually, and I'll bring in the stamp at the same time, whenever I've done this I can trim around the outside of it, no problem, because it's a square, so I can guillotine, I can trim at that, not a problem, but I can never get that middle out, that pesky middle. Well, now you've got the die to do that, and it's a separate die, so you've got just that outside edge for the die to layer over that central point, so you can choose to cut that out or leave it in place. And that means you could do the same on the stamped image as you can on the lacy outside image as well. So you've got the square, you've got the lacy panel, and you've got the separate insert. Then you've got your flowers, and again I fell in love with this. So you've got the embossed ones, or the debossed panels, for all of the different pieces, and then you've got the outline ones to match up with the stamp. So loads and loads and loads of bits here for you to play with. Actually 15 dies in total on that set that's going to coordinate between the die set, the stamp set, and of course be used on its own if you prefer. So loads and loads in that one. Then we move on to our last die set. Now this one again is absolutely stunning. This is our lace border. Now with our lace border set, we receive 3 dies in this set, giving you a top edge, a bottom edge, and the lace filigree panel. And there's no sides to this, so if you wish to extend this on to make it bigger, we'll see this on an amazing sample by Ian shortly, you can do, or of course you can trim it to where you want it to be. But it means that you might just choose to cut one edge off, or both edges, or neither edge. The choice is yours. Or you can use the edges on their own around the stamped image, so that you can cut out that stamped image and have it as a separate panel. It also means that you can choose to yo-yo where you put your edges within your filigree panel. So it just gives you a few of the ways that you can choose to lay this one out and play along with it if you wish to. And then that, of course, is our stamp, which coordinates with it, this most beautiful lacy stamp, which again can be extended to be as long or as short as you want it to be. How much was that precious die set, please? If it's this one, I haven't told you yet, have I? Sorry. The border die set is $13.99. Just in case it was the lace one, that one is $16.99. Okay, just in case I forgot to tell you that one. And that shares with you all of the new goodies in the brand new launch. So you've got your lace border, your lovely lace square, dig some of these out. Then you've got your flower, and I'm going to do it so you can see them, because it's nice for you to see just these bits.
What size is the square die?
I'll have a little measure. It will tell us in a second, I'm sure. Give me a minute, I'll have a little look-see. Good question. I don't know where I put that. Where have I put the die for that one?
You should have read previous, not precious. How lovely Trish has just said.
Oh, it's all right, it's fine. You're with us, don't ever worry about that.
Which one are you after?
I haven't, I found them.
Okay.
So that's your complete brand new collection, so you can see it actually as it is. So you've got your square, your lace, your butterfly, your hot air balloon, and of course the lace flowers to go with it. And the square, before we forget, because I will, was it Trish who asked?
Marquita, I think.
Oh, Marquita. 3.9 by 3.9 inches. So just shy of 4-inch square, that one, to give you a little idea. So I quite like this because it's not too big, and it's certainly big enough that you can multi-cut it, like I'll be able to show you from one of Lynn's samples, if you prefer, or it could just be the focal on a smaller card. So should we have a look at a few samples, Pete, please? Where are we going to start?
Fran was asking if any of the dyes could be used to cut fabric.
Oh, that's always a very good question, Fran. So cutting fabric, that's always a bit of a tricky one to answer because there's a few variables to that question. One is the type of fabric you're using. You know, if you're going for like a heavyweight fabric or a thin weight fabric, I believe cotton fabrics can be a bit more tricky because they've got that sort of thread to them and they fall apart. I believe, I can't pretend I know loads about fabric. So that can be quite a variable. And then it's down to how lacy the dye is. So if you was using like the outside, which I've dropped on the floor somewhere, of the butterfly, being a larger open shape, that would cut a lot more different types of fabric than something like the lacy one would. It's a bit like weights of cardstock, isn't it? If you're cutting from a really thick cardstock, your more basic outline shapes are going to cut better than something that's really lacy. So the best thing to do tends to be is try it and see. Another variable, of course, is your machine. Now, you know I always go on about my machine. I love my machine. I use a Pro Cut by Kit and Caboodle. That's got a lot of pressure. It's an electronic machine, so it's got a lot more pressure to it. If you was using a manual machine, let's go back in time to like a Cuttlebug maybe, then you're going to have a lot less pressure going through. So again, depending on the thickness of material, fabric or card, it's going to give you a different result. So the best advice always is give it a try and see how you get on. And that there isn't like a one size fits all answer to that. It is going to be down to your dye you're actually using, the fabric you're using and the machine you're sending it through. But if it was me, I would always go for more open designs in an electronic machine on a lower weight fabric. I hope that helps, but I'm not a fabric expert at all. I can't pretend there's something I can help with that one. Could the dyes be used as stencils to decorate fabric? Absolutely. Yeah, why not? If you look at how pretty this is, I'll be honest, before we went live, I said to Pete, I just cut this out and I said to Pete, we should have done this as a stencil as well. This collection is just getting bigger and bigger by the day, so I'm kind of glad we haven't, but maybe one day we will. But you look at that, how beautiful is this as a design? But absolutely, why not cut that before we've done stencils with them and use it as a stencil? Absolutely, no reason why you couldn't. So if there's no more questions, let's have a little look at some samples. So we'll start off because I've got loads to get through. So let's have a little look at this one. Can you see that well? This one's done by our lovely Lynn on the design team, and she's made a little hanger using our butterflies. She's used the dyes, she's put them over the MDF. So the MDF is fractionally smaller than our die cut because we have to leave room for the dyes to go around it and leave room for the stamp to go around it. But it gives you this nice edge that's going to give you that little indentation for your MDF on the inside. It's also given Lynn room to add in her thread, and she's added a little hanging crystal set underneath it as well. And of course, this is double-sided so that it's going to look really, really pretty. I also really like the way she's used the stamped part that she's trimmed out with some scissors and layered that over the top of her die cut. So again, using between the MDF, the actual stamps and the dies all together. The only bit that isn't viewable on this is the stencils, and you can see the glitter through the mirror card on the MDF, which looks really, really lovely. Okay, moving on to our next one. This is a wow. This is beautiful. This one's done by our lovely Wendy. Now have a look at this, and it's going to be a tricky one to share with you, but she's made this like reverse easel using a square die. This is our lovely scallop die with our stitch edge on the outside of it, and then in the middle she's hung one of our MDF butterflies, again using the butterfly die set on the outside of it and the glitters on the butterfly. So this can literally hang and twiddle around in the middle there, which looks really, really pretty. She's added some MDF butterflies up in those top corners. I don't know if you're going to see this, but she's also added the cloud stencil in the background. That will also be on the shows later this week. That's a stencil that's been out a little while, but we are bringing it back because, of course, every butterfly and every hot air balloon needs a cloudy background to go with it. And then you've got the flowers being used around the edge here. Now I'm going to hold these up for you because of these embossed flowers. You might not have seen them too well, but don't they look beautiful with a little bit of ink put over the top of them? And then Wendy's also added in some glitter into them too, which I thought was really, really pretty. She's also got a little happy birthday stamp on the back there and a flower on the reverse, and it decorated every part to this beautiful, beautiful card. And that little happy birthday acts as your stopper, which I think works really, really nicely. I love that project. I thought it was really, really beautiful. And then just a couple of simple ones here. One by me with some glitter, using our lovely butterfly die set. Another one here with our glitter underneath. Hopefully you're going to see that, but we've got our rainbow of glitters being created with all the different shades of the new Gemstones glitters. Another one here using the glitters over the top of the stamped butterfly, which of course has been cut out with the die set. So loads of ways in which you're going to be able to mix and match this collection together. Another one here with the stamp, the glitter and the die set with the butterfly. Oh, this is pretty. Look how beautiful this is. So this again is really lovely because of, who's done this one? This one's Lynn. So Lynn's used the die set to cut out the filigree part in white. She's then used the outside edge to cut vellum to put behind it, and then added in another little vellum layer underneath that as well. And this has inspired me. I haven't yet, but look how gorgeous these flowers look in white work. Imagine doing just a white work project with these. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to have to. I like the way that Lynn's done white and silver for this one, but I do love a white card, all white card, so I think I'm going to have to do one of those, building up just the flowers in a little display. I thought that was a beautiful, beautiful card. Another butterfly one here, stamped, glittered and cut out. Another one here, this one is by me again, where I've die cut the butterfly into the top layer. And then the layer below it, I've just die cut it in and left it in the square. So I can then layer this one over the top to create that double stack sort of dimension. One here where I've done a gold butterfly underneath the white one and then drop shadowed it just so you get that little golden halo coming through from underneath the white one, and then 3D'd it onto my project. Oh, this one's lovely. This is another one by Wendy where she's, oh, and this is really pretty. Look at the lace at the top here where she's stamped it and then double stacked it. I really liked that. I thought that was a really pretty look. And then another one here. This one is by Ian, bringing in sort of all those pastel shades, which looks really beautiful. That cloud stencil being used in the background, and then embossing the butterfly and cutting it out with a die set. And then this one by Wendy as well, bringing in those glitters, sparkling up our lovely, beautiful butterfly. And you might also see underneath, she's added a little layer of stamped butterfly in a couple of areas as well, which looks really, really nice. Okay, that was your butterfly samples. What ones have we got next, Peter? We are so lucky, aren't we, Sue? Sue says, what stunning samples, such an inspiration. We are so lucky. We have such an incredible design team who work so hard to bring us so many amazing creations. Just like this one here. This is another one that I'm going to be honest with you, when I see it, I wowed out loud. This one's done by Lynn. And Lynn has brought in a hot air balloon die set and layered it. And this is beautiful because obviously she's done, how many has she done here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 different pieces that she's put back to front and glued to create this kind of little like accordion book style effect. But you imagine doing that and doing it all the way round and then hanging that as a decoration. Maybe you're somebody who is making party decorations or garlands or Easter decorations. That could be quite cool. This is giving me kind of Eastery vibes. Or if you want, just do them like this one here that Lynn's done just as one level. But this Decadent Ivory card with the craft card underneath, really, really cool. And then under that, she's got a whole little field of flowers. She's used the stripe die, which came out a little while back, didn't it? That was our first release, to make the stems to the flowers, and then decorated all of these different flowers, and then added in the cloud stencil in the background. I thought that was lovely. Oh, and don't miss that, because you might see it better in cream, that embossed detail running around the banner. And the banner's, of course, the one that comes with a hot air balloon. So, okay, I've got a pearl that's on the move. Let's see if we can put that back in place. So these are, this is pretty. Just not the card, I made the card, but I like the flowers. I'm pointing these out. I love how gold mirror card looks so delicate with these embossed detail dies. Don't they look stunning? So hopefully you're going to see that. I might have to photograph these and share them with you. But again, balloon, double shadowed, because we've got that solid die as well, background cut out of the pink, just to match in. A few of the circles which come out recently. These ones are pretty. These are our flowers, again, embossed, coloured with alcohol markers. A little bit of lace in the background and balloon added onto this one as well. Another one here with a balloon matching up the stamps and the dies. A simple one this time with the balloon over an embossed panel with the clouds. And this is nice because the balloon stays in place. The base layer, it's in place. The top layer, I've used the outline die to cut that out and then emboss the rest of the panel so that you've got that sort of stacked in effect that we can create between having that outside and inside element. Another one here of the balloon coloured this time. Oh, this one's cool. I hear rumour that Lynn's done a little video that she's going to share with us as well, bringing in the balloons to the mechanical collection. And this is what I love to share with you when all of the collections work together, because balloons are quite big in that sort of steampunk world, aren't they? So actually bringing that in, adding in the cogs, adding in the little hat, really works beautifully. This one here is done by Wendy, where she's gone for sort of red and gold, which looks really elegant for our balloon. This one's lovely as well. This one's done by Lynn. Lynn's made a little sort of multi-fold card here with the balloon on the front, bringing in that beautiful glitter for a bit of sparkle. And then moving on, we have got this one. So again, you can see lots of different colours going through this one as well of the glitters, including the black onyx in the background. Oh, this is cool. This one's done by Ian. Ian always does this. Even we was unpacking the samples just before we went live, and Pete said, oh, Ian's done his party trick. He does this all the time and we love it. This is taking a different item than you would expect and making a vase out of it. If you remember with the Cuddly Clan, he took the little balloon, like birthday balloon, and did a similar effect with this one. He did the balloon trick when we did the original lace collection, but he's up the ante this time. He's taken the bit he's cut off of the end of the balloon and put it at the top to make the top of the vase and that little neck, and then just hid it with a little gold line, which is really nice. But he's stamped over the actual vase and he's added in all these little details. Again, I'm going to try and get it so you can see them. Those little embossed dies look really nice. And I also like the way he's mixed and matched between the embossed dies and the stamped sort of die cuts as well. Really showing you how that's going to work nicely together. This one's gorgeous as well. Lynn does like to go off with her MDF, and this is a beautiful one, showing you the balloon coming in to be stamped and then built up with all of the different die cut elements using the MDF pieces around the sides here, stamping on the butterflies as well. Just looks really, really elegant, doesn't it? I love this. I think that's really, really cool. And then another one here by Wendy, showing our balloon mid-flight with them arrows pointing upwards with lots and lots of clouds, which is really lovely. And then we move on to our next one. So what we got next, Peter?
Flowers.
Oh, flowers. Now there's lots going on with this one as well. Now, because you've got them two different options of matching up with our...
Got a little stray one.
Has that one fell off from somewhere, is it, Peter?
I think it's on the second card down.
It's all going terribly wrong, isn't it?
I think it's you and your glowing.
It probably is me. We'll find where that one comes from at some stage. Can't be this card because I've got pearls on this one and this one hasn't got pearls. So we'll find it shortly. But this is a lovely card, isn't it? And again, not only are we bringing in the flowers, we've also got like the butterflies. Look how cute them debossed butterflies are. Isn't that beautiful? I really like these. I hope you lot are falling in love with the debossed eyes as much as I am. And I think gold really sets them off. Then you've got that beautiful butterfly, and then we've love on this one. Now, this is what I was on about shaping your flowers. When we've been stamping these flowers, we can't shape them, can we? And you're never going to cut them out with all of them dips and bits. But now we've got the dies to go with them. Build up your displays. Bring in that ability to shape and create depth with them. You're going to get bored of me showing you this style because I've done a few of these, but I really love how pretty and delicate these look when we mix in the dies with the stamps. So, okay, another one. Oh, here's where my gold one. This is one of mine, I reckon. I don't know where it's come from. We'll come back to it later. But this again is using just gold, lots of mirror with them deboss elements from the flowers, the banner from the balloon and the butterfly. And then I'm conscious that we've probably been waffling for absolutely hours and we've made nothing to give away. So we're going to try and speed up a little bit and just share some of these with you. You're going to get to see lots of these posted on Facebook over the next couple of weeks as well. But hopefully you're seeing just how many we have created. Me and the team, we've really fell in love with this and just gone miles and miles and miles above what needs really to be done. But that's a sign of a collection that we fell in love with. So a little bit quicker for you, just so you can see these. Are there any questions we've missed yet, Pete?
No, I don't think so.
No, don't forget to let us know your favourite colours and we'll pick somebody to win what we do make. And I promise we will make something before we let you go this evening. I'm going to hand this back to Peter and set him the mission to find where it comes from. Oh, this is lovely. So now we're moving on to our lace square, which is what I've nicknamed it. I don't know if that's actually the right name. Is that the right name?
It is.
Is it? Oh, good. So this is our lace square examples. Now this is stunning. This is done by Lynn. Lynn has created this beautiful box, adding the lace square around all four sides, adding in the little rainbow glittered butterflies to the middles. She's created this edge using the decal edges, maybe the squares, maybe the rectangles, doesn't matter which one, you could do it with either. Adding in the little stitch line to the middle makes a great little border. That gives me an idea for a set of border dies for that, because that's so pretty. And then added the little butterflies over the edges as well, the embossed ones or debossed ones, and then added the glittery butterfly on the top. How spectacular is that as a box? I love this. Very, very cool. So a couple more samples sharing with you from that lovely lace square. Oh, this one's cool. I can't do this one too quickly because I've got to share it with you how it should be shown. So this one's done by Wendy. She's made this, added the little flower in the middle as well to sort of give it a middle. And then this part is her envelope that fits within, where she has created this using 4 of those panels. How wicked is that? And of course then your card fits on the inside of it, so it all goes together and makes a beautiful little envelope set. How cool. Love that. And then we've just got a couple showing you matching the stamps with the dies. So this is what I'm on about, cutting out that middle part that I couldn't have done previously, and I certainly couldn't have got it that exact. Having that die to go in and trim that out is a bit of a game changer. If you don't wish to trim it out, then of course you can leave it solid and build up on top of it. And then this one's lovely. This one I think is Lynn, isn't it? Lynn's done this one where she's made 4 together to make up the background to our card, and then added another one on the front and done all of this over a self-adhesive sheet and filled it full of the Larry Mar glitter, which is really, really sparkly and beautiful. Teaming that with the seashell blue cardstock. And then is this the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, so now we move on to the lace border. Now you've seen this come through in a few of the different creations already, but it's really nice to see it in this set. We can't introduce it there, Peter. I'm not doing it. You're going to have to give it to me, and then we'll share with them what you've been doing with it.
We don't have to.
We do, we do, but it's nice for them to see it properly before you tarnish its reputation. This is lovely. Ian. This one's done by Wendy, where she's made these. And this is what I love about giving you 2 separate edges. You can create this as your edges to your booklet if you want to. And then this I thought was cool. This is the lace border, but just trimmed down on a guillotine. So you've got that really pretty element wrapped around the back of her card as well. I thought it was lovely because it looks like a completely different die, but it's all from one item. This one's a bit different, and I'm going to show you it in this sense because I don't think you're going to see it. But I've used just the edge die to go across and cut off the top part to make what in theory could be a little pocket for your card or your album to put something inside. And then this one, very similarly, I've taken away the end of this one, or the base of this one, to give you that look. And then this one's done by Wendy. Wendy's used just the 2 edges to make these little strips to go down her card, which I thought was a really clever idea and different way to use those that I hadn't thought of. And then another one done by Wendy here, where she's used the lace as a little wraparound on the edge of a photo frame, which I thought was really cool because you could just add in a couple of photos in there, maybe a little bit of journaling, and turn this frame into like a framed scrapbook element, which I thought was really lovely. Flowers, butterflies, lots of glitter, and that lace being extended as a wraparound, really, really delicate. That gave me so many ideas seeing that panel wrapped around like that. I feel we're going to have to do lots with that one. Then we're going to pass these off to Pete and we're going to bring this in. Now this is a bit of a showstopper to end our sample sharing with. And I don't know, let's go for full on because I think that's going to be a better way for you to see it. This is our wedding cake that Ian has created. Now Ian has taken the lace border and wrapped it around 2 levels and then brought in the flowers and made this beautiful cascading element running down across the cake. Now I will pass this back to Pete in a second so you can see what he keeps doing with this if you can't guess already.
No, we're running short of time, Joe.
Really beautiful. I like the way he's added little pearls around the top of it. He's added glitter as little icing elements that hide the join between the top level and the side levels. He's used the circle dies that we bought to you recently to make the tops of his sort of tiers. But I thought that was a very cool way and a really nice way to show you how you could make them flowers cascade down in different gift boxes, different elements. Ian's kept his all as singles, which is great and I love, but you could make them as opening boxes or separate levels. You could do it as squares instead if you wanted and cascade them down that. I just thought that was a really cool way to show you how you could upscale these flowers into something really, really cool. Now we're going to pass that off to Pete. This is what, no, it's gone back up. Come on, show them, and then we'll do some demos. This is what he wanted to start our live with. Honestly, you just can't get the partners, really.
They've got us down as really sort of professional.
No, they haven't.
Outfit. And there's me with, sorry, and I better take that
What is it with you and hats? We had at Christmas, we had you jingling everywhere.
We did, yeah, but that was your fault.
Now we've got you with a wedding cake as a hat.
Cam with a cake on the head. I mean,
I think it's a lovely cake and certainly doesn't deserve to be worn as a hat.
It is nice. It's beautiful.
I think it's lovely. I'm well impressed with that. And I love the way that lace wraps round. So, so pretty. So, Alison says, well, there's your wedding cake. Have you got your ring yet?
Thanks, Alison. I really liked Alison, but...
Can we see any additional jewellery? We're going off
the glue, lady.
No, we can't. Can we, Alison? No. There is no wedding ring or engagement rings on here at all. Sheila says it suits you.
I'm not sure how to take that.
Fran says it's not an Easter bonnet time yet. It isn't, but maybe we could bring him back in an Easter bonnet. Ian sends you little smiling faces. I will be honest. I tried with my head, it don't fit. I see Ian yesterday. I was in the shop and Ian popped in. I said to him how I really would like to wear it on the shows, cover my bald bit, but it wouldn't fit on my head. So we had to stick it on Pete's head instead. But very cool. I think you have to wait until Friday for the ring, Jamie. Does that mean it? Oh, I don't know, because it's Valentine's Day. I thought you meant somebody else might offer. You know.
Wait.
Well,
what are you saying?
Snooze, you lose.
There's me looking at comments. And,
snooze, you lose. Okay, enough. We could end up in like a whole Jeremy Kyle moment here, couldn't we? Could. Or Jerry Springer. We can't do any of that. Should we do some crafting? I've waffled for like 52 minutes and we haven't done nothing. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking of the collection. What's your take on it? Are you in love? Do you think this is something you're going to be adding to your crafty stash? Have you fell in love with it as much as me and the design team have? Because I think it's something that I feel you're going to really enjoy. But let us know what you think. Also, could you let me know where I've hid my stamps? Because we need them. And I can't remember where I've put them. Oh, I have found them. Don't panic. Don't panic. I've got them. No need to rescue me. Last week, what was we searching for? Freddie, I think, weren't we? What Freddie was looking for?
We lose Freddie.
I think we lost Freddie at one point. This week we'll play with the stamps. So then, this is the card that we're going to start work on. We're going to play with our lovely butterfly and we're going to bring in our flowers. Just to show you really how the different components can match up, because it's nice to see why we need these and how they're going to work for you. So we're going to bring in a piece of card. We'll place that into our stamp press and we're going to bring in a few flowers. Now, being honest with you, when I do mine, I tend to lay out all of the flowers because I've got the dies to match all of them. So I tend to lay them all out and I will fill my plate or cardstock full of all of them. Not too close because obviously we need to allow a little bit of room for the dies, but we'll add on all of the different components so that when I come to do my die cutting, I'm not sending just one item through. I think that's most of them. That'll certainly give us a good idea what one didn't pick up. There we go. And then we'll add on some ink. And we'll give this a little stamp. So I'm going to use one of our inks. This is our quick dry pigment inks in Black Panther, but of course, and this is what I love about stamps, you could use all your different inks, all your different embossing powders, all your different mediums to do your stamping with. It doesn't have to be ours, but I know somebody will want to know which one it is, so it's nice that you do know. So we've stamped those out, we've got all of those ready to go. So let's skip down to the dies, which are hidden somewhere in my pile. We've got a lot in here today, haven't we? So let's go finding some dies. So we're going to bring in, and yeah, we'll do it this way. We'll bring in our dies. We're going to match them up, and if I can find my tape, we'll start anchoring them down. So straight away over the top, we don't have to be too precise. We've got a little bit of leeway through the white edge, but we'll be as close as we can be to make sure they look as good as they possibly can. And we'll anchor all of these down. Now, just like I said before, and you know, everyone can go at it from their own angle, but I'm going to confess how I do things. I tend to do my die cutting before I do my colouring. And that's just in case I accidentally move a flower as I move my plates or put them onto my plates. If I've spent a while colouring them and then my die moves and I don't end up with a perfect finished result, I'm going to be a bit peeved that I didn't do it the other way round. So I tend to cut them, then I will match them up. Oh, then I'll colour them, sorry. I was thinking about matching this up. This one's the tricky one because there's lots of different bits and it all looks the same. So it's usually this one that takes me the most time to work out what side I need it to be. But we're not doing too bad. We'll bring in I love this little one. And that always was my favourite stamp in this collection. And all of the time I wanted to be able to cut it out. But there was no way I was going to get around all of those little leaves. They're just too delicate. Now having the die, game changer. Absolute game changer. It really has made me go back to this Floral Lace collection and look at it with new eyes, in a new way, with new abilities, I suppose, in honesty. I'll anchor all of them bits down. We'll get rid of the stamp press for the second and we'll bring in our plates. Oh, here they are. Sheila says she loves the new collection, but we need the stamps too. It certainly is good if you've got both. You know, there are a lot of people who don't do stamping and there are a lot of people who don't do die cutting. So I really wanted you to have the ability to have them as two standalone items because I think on their own merits, they can do that. But absolutely if you can run to both or collect both in time, having that chance to be able to stamp and die cut, it really does open up a whole new world in what we can do and the effects we can create, which is what we want, isn't it? You know, it's like, again, it's a bit like the mixed media side of it. Not everybody's into MDF, but I really love the ability that we can also be stamping on the MDF, building things out of MDF, taking it into a slightly different level of construction and styling to what we would normally be able to do. I always say this, kind of aware that somebody's probably done this and I don't know about it because I kind of live under a rock. But I don't know of any other brand that's done matching MDF and stamps, to be honest with you. As I say that always scared because I'm sure somebody somewhere has. I can't have been the first person to come up with it, but it's certainly not something I've seen ever, let alone commonplace. But having the ability to stamp onto MDF, matching it up, I think is so much fun because it takes what MDF can be kind of, it's great and I love MDF, but it's kind of, you've got to do something to it. We're actually having the matching elements to go with it to make it look wow from the beginning, to me is really cool. So I've always really enjoyed that aspect of this collection. Now to be able to do it with the dies as well, I think opens up a whole new world. So I'm not doing this perfectly. We're just bringing in some colour just so you can see how quickly we can bring these to life. It doesn't have to be Picasso level at all. It's just going to be a little bit of colour that we're placing down. I'm using some alcohol markers, but you can use, of course, all of your different colouring mediums to complete these as you wish to. Might be some nice sprays. Maybe you've got the Elite Misters, or maybe some watercolour paints. Maybe you've chose to emboss these before you've coloured them. That could look really lovely, or before you've die cut them. That could look really lovely. Imagine these done in like a nice gold embossing powder and then done with something like watercolour inks as well. Oh, that'd be pretty. So we'll just finish this one off just because I've got this far. I get carried away. I always think when I start doing this on a live, I'll just colour like one petal and then I get carried away before we know I've done the whole thing. So there's our little flower. Now, as I mentioned with these, we can shape them. So let's do a bit of shaping because this is a different idea for you, or a different way that I've never shaped flowers like this before. but it just kind of worked. I'm going to take it and I'm going to just keep folding it in half, running through the middle of the flower, and it doesn't have to match up perfectly. This isn't like tea bag folding. This is just folding and creating some different points to it, and it will end up kind of, if you look at it like that, we've kind of gone symmetrically to create our panel, and we're going to go the other way as well, just so that we end up with kind of equal segments. It's not so much about where the lines fall, but it's kind of nice to have a bit of symmetry, because what we're then going to do is just post bits into each other and give it a little bit of a shape, so that when we lay that out again, it kind of shapes up. Can we see that okay? Kind of shapes up so that you've got a bit of a squidge to it and a bit of layer to give us a different style. Now, you don't have to shape them in that way. You could go in with your tweezers if you want to. You could use a ball tool on a mat. There's loads of ways we can shape them. But I found with these, this was my favourite way to do them. And maybe it's because I love tea bag folding. It's something I've always enjoyed doing. So it's kind of that really in a different format. But it's just a way that I found folding and shaping to be quite fun. I've never seen MDF matching anything other than decoupage paper mache papers. No, I hadn't, Fran. I was just like, I always feel like somebody's going to pop in and say, oh yeah, I you know, X or Y have done it. But I don't know. Dawn asked the question, will we be bringing out dies for other collections, e.g. Rodney and Santa? Truthfully, I don't think so. It is something we might visit, but I don't think so. But there will be new editions this year, and they will have dies, I feel, maybe. But I don't think...
Doing the voice.
Doing the voice, the little hinty voice. There's nothing yet
He's
actually
got the cheeky
like...
grin on his face.
Nothing actually yet like confirmed, but that's kind of my loose plan. And the reason for that is because I like to give you the reasons so you know. I think when we go to some of the details, it's a bit like I said earlier, going back and retrofitting is much trickier than actually designing from the beginning. And if we design from the beginning, we can possibly make, like the arms of Rodney, for instance, I think we'd get a bit tricky to get the detailing right on those. I'm not saying we won't try it. We might give it a go to see. But yeah, we're not there yet with those ones. But there may have to be some new characters for Christmas this year that have matching stuff.
Perhaps come up with an idea possibly for them.
Maybe.
No.
We'll see. But Rodney will have a family this year. Rodney can't be lonely for long. We've left him a year. Do you like how I look at you as if it's your fault? You've left Rodney all on his own for a year.
His little children will be there.
It's not good enough. Rodney needs family. It's got to have family. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, so onto our butterfly element. So I'm going to bring in the butterfly, and again, because we're not going to be using the outside edge, we're going to bring in some squares. So we're going to go for our first square to go around the edges of it, and then we're going to find, this is the fluted square, and then we're going to find, oh, I don't know if that one's going to fit. Oh, yeah, okay, we'll go for a bit of a frame. So we're going to add in a stitched square to this one, so that we've got a little bit of detail coming in slightly closer to the butterfly. And we're going to add on some card, and we're going to send this through. And actually, I'm just going to twist that, just so it's got longer under the pressure. Whenever we're working with filigree dies like this, it's always better if we can share out the pressure, because you're going to get a better cut. So we'll go that way with it instead of doing it in the thinner side, and we'll send that through. Let's have a little look. Have we missed any other questions? We got to Dawn, didn't we? Alison says she's not done MDF like that. I'll have to give it a go. Yeah, give it a try and see how you get on. I love MDF. It just opens up so many new ideas. Alison had the tea bag folding dies out the other day. That's good to hear. They're lovely, aren't they? It's just a different sort of concept as well. And yeah, I know we've kind of moved on a little bit, but nothing's ever wasted, is it? I love this edge as well. I've just taken off the rest of the frame because I don't need it. But these edges, they're too good to waste, aren't they? I know we spoke about this with the cog, and it's a bit like what Lynn's done round that box where I said she'd added those. But even these edges, you bring those in. How cool is that as a little decorative panel? You know, nothing has to be wasted, does it? I like that. I'm going to have to do that, aren't we? Maybe we could offset them That's kind of pretty as well, isn't it? Maybe if we did that and then built up our flowers on the top there. Isn't that nice? Maybe in some other colours. Okay, we're going off on a tangent. You don't need to listen to the inner waffles of my mind, but it's nice to see that those bits are also, of course, got lots of use to them. We're going to take away that part and we're going to take away our butterfly. Now, I am a die tapper, not a poker. So we'll give that part out and then we can come in and take these parts away. Now, of course, our die cut has gone through and cut for us beautifully. And we have all of these little pieces we can take out. We're not going to do all of this because you're going to get bored watching me. But we've got all of these beautiful filigree elements created within our die cut. Oh, look at that coming together. Isn't that pretty? Just take these ones out. There we go, just so you can see half of it. Just so you can see it's all cut beautifully, because that's the important bit, isn't it? That we see how beautiful that's cut and how lovely that effect is going to be, especially when we start layering colour under it. So let's bring in some cards and start building, shall we? So we're going to start off with our card blank. This one is, it's a 7" by 7" card blank, so it's slightly under. I'm going to give off the butterfly to Pete so we can take out the other bits, because I'm conscious that I want you to see it's all cut perfectly. And we're going to start layering up on our card. So we're going to go for a white layer to begin with, and we're going to do this one at 6.5" by 6.5". And I don't know about anybody else, but whenever I'm working with a scalloped card blank, I tend to use them as a tent fold instead of a I've lost the word, but instead of standing them up like you would traditionally, I tend to go for them being a tent. I don't know what that's about. I think it's possibly because I feel like the detail being missing off of the side looks a bit empty. If I'm going to do that, then I'll tie a ribbon around it so that there's a bit of fancy this side to match in with the scallops. But with the butterfly, it's quite large, and I didn't want to cover the butterfly with a big ribbon and a bow. So we're going to stick to where we were, and we're going to go with it being a tent fold card, and we're going to bring in our next panel. So with this one, I've chose to use the decal edge square with the stitch line that comes with the decal edge, and use the butterfly in the middle of that one. And we're going to place that down with some 1mm foam tape. We're then going to bring in a selection of our flowers. I'm going to do this quickly. I'm going to give them a bit of a pinch just so they've got a bit more 3D to them, because they've gone slightly flat in my carry case. We're going to do the main flowers first of all, going up the sides here, and then we're going to bring in some of these other pieces, and we're going to add these on with glue as well as some foam tape. We're going to bring in that lovely like shamrocky part, and we're going to add in one of these smaller ones. Hey Jamie and team, do you by any chance sell in the TV channel Hobby Maker? I'm afraid we don't, Genevieve. We're not on Hobby Maker. We are available on liveshopping.com, which will be on Thursday. We'll be live with them. Thursday, the 13th of February at 9 and 12. And then on Friday, I'll be live for 2 hours at 10 AM all the way through till 12 PM. And all of the items that we're looking at today will be able to be purchased on those shows. That's our preferred partner for our shows currently. Make it sound like a bank. A preferred partner. Any other questions? Just lost live, now back. Oh, that's good, Fran. Can't go losing ya. Always tricky with a live, isn't it, to make sure it stays in place. So we're just building up, bringing in these different components, placing them round. Oh, the bit I forgot to mention, Genevieve, if you haven't already found liveshopping.vip, you can watch the shows live on this page you're watching this live on now. You don't have to go anywhere else. You can do. You can watch on the Highlight Crafts, which is a Facebook page. You can watch on the Highlight Crafts YouTube channel. You can watch on the Highlight Crafts website. You can watch on the liveshopping.vip website. Just to name a few places, but you can of course also watch if there are shows on this page here. So just like you're watching today, you can watch on here, and then you shop within the comments. You don't have to leave, you don't have to go anywhere else. You can literally just, we'll give you words as the show goes on saying like, I don't know, shop lace, and then you type that into the comments and it will put it into a basket for you. You'll be sent a message to your inbox on Facebook. You click the link that's in that message and it will take you to their website to check out, and then everything's in your basket ready for you. So you don't have to venture anywhere else. It can all be done where you are watching this right now. So that completes our very simple card. Now, if you haven't already, let us know what your favourite colour is in the comments, and Pete will pick one winner at the end of this to win whatever we've created. So that's our first card to give you a bit of an idea. I think we've got time to fit in another one, don't you? Should you have another one? So. Oh, I know what I haven't shared with you. I wanted to. I want to just share with you, before we move on from the flowers, how easy it is to cut with these deboss dies, because I think it's really nice to see these, because they are kind of a different concept to what you might have seen before, because obviously normally we're used to having dies with possibly a few deboss elements, but not full-on deboss like these. I always feel like when I say deboss, it's like a little nickname, deboss. So we'll cut these out. We're going to do it from gold mirror card, just so you can see them go through. But just dies like you normally would. We're going to send them through the machine and have a little look at how that comes out. Ooh. Sue asks, when will the collection come on sale? Will you be able to get the stamps, etc. as well? So on liveshopping.vip this week, then yes, the stamps, the stencils, the MDF, everything will be available for you. Every single thing you've seen on tonight's show, die-wise, stamp-wise, stencil-wise, MDF-wise, glitter-wise, will all be available on the shows for you. The stamps, the stencils, the MDF are already available from our stockists. Those come out last August. Thanks, Lynn, for the reminder of the month. So they are already available. But they, of course, will also, and all of the new bits, be available from all of our stockists as of the 17th, which is Monday the 17th. Then our stockists will have them available for you as well. If you haven't found your favourite stockist, then you can pop onto the website, www.jamierodgerscrafts.com, and you'll find a little tab that says stockist list, and you can find our stockists all around the world on that page. But of course, as I say, they are exclusively, the new stuff is exclusively available on the shows this week before it goes live to everybody on the 17th. Okay, let's have a look at the next card, shall we? So is there any questions, Peter, before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
No? Oh, we'll play with a bit of glitter on this one, I feel. We haven't played with the glitter yet, have we? And we need to see that in action too. That glitter is so sparkly and so beautiful. So we're going to bring in our hot air balloon for this one, and we're going to start off by stamping our hot air balloon, just so you can see the stamps. We won't die cut this one because you see the, but I'll show it matching so you can see that part of it, but we won't die cut it for speed. Very conscious we've gone over our hour. Every week I say to people, we're just going to be an hour. And then I start waffling. Before you know it, it's the middle of the night. So we're going to bring in our hot air balloon stamp, and we're going to place that down on our press, and we're going to pick that up. And we're going to delve in and find our black ink. Here it is. And we'll give that a little stamp. Now, I know last time we bought glitters to air, there was a question about us having glittery embossing powder. And our lovely Sharon from the DT actually took our glitter and mixed it in with clear embossing powder and turned it into its very own embossing powder. I haven't yet tried that. I keep meaning to. I'd forgot about it until I started talking about it. But wouldn't that be a lovely idea with these 4 new shades as well, to be able to go ahead and turn them into embossing powders too? We often go on about this, but isn't it great when we start looking at our products and all of our different mediums as ingredients to be added into different concoctions and to create new ideas? And I thought that was a really cool idea to actually mix it into that clear powder. So your balloon outline die will of course match up perfectly to go over the top of your stamped balloon, but of course you have got that filigree one to go in there as well if you prefer. So we would send that through and we would cut that out. I've already done that for mine, but we'll bring this one in just so we can show a bit of glitter going on, because I don't know if I've got one cut out, or oh, I have got one in. Oh no, it's the same as that one, that's fine. Now then, have I brought up? I don't think I have. So I was just going to add some details with a quickie glue pen, but I seem to have forgot to bring my quickie glue pen. So I would add in a few details and sprinkle on our lovely glitter. But I am going to share with you how fine this is, because that's really lovely for you to see. Obviously, when we do our little boards, you see it on a board format. But actually, when we lift this up, I'm hoping you're going to see this, just how delicate some of the particles are within this glitter, how fine they are. And that's what gives you that different level of sparkle, that really intense, beautiful disco ball sparkle is achieved by all of them different particles, all of that different glitz coming at you from that beautiful set. So I've done that already, and I've added some details onto my lovely balloon, which I've coloured in with alcohol markers, and I've cut that out, of course, with the matching die. We're then going to go on and we're going to build this card up, and this is a really quick one. So we're going to start off with our card blank, which this time is, I think, an 8x8. Yes, an 8x8 card blank. We're going to then bring in some layers, and we're going to start off with some of our lovely black card as our base element. Oh, I hear rumours of Christmas.
They're chatting they'd like a star and... a
star in what? What
for
was
Christmas? Was it a star and
a
snowflake?
floral lace style? That'd be nice.
But Lynn would like it. So.
Lynn would like it. I think what Lynn wants, Lynn gets. Or needs to get, I feel. With an idea like that.
We hear you, Lynn, we hear you.
We hear you loud and clear. That can be done. Christmas is currently on sort of the drawing board at the moment, isn't it, to be honest?
It is, yeah.
We are kind of mulling over a bit of Christmas as we speak. Some bits are already locked in place, but there is... Christmas, I think we could go a little bit longer this year. We kind of did Christmas all in June and July last year. I don't know why, but I think this year we need to go a little bit further and bring you lots of Christmas. We love Christmas. Crafting for Christmas is my favourite time to craft. So we need more festiveness. So onto our lace die, just to share this with you so you can see it in its sort of actual form instead of in a packet. You have got your three, I'm putting them around the wrong way now. You have got your 3 different pieces. So you've got your main die, you've then got your edge die for the top and your edge die for the bottom. Now I've spread these out slightly so you can see them, but they do of course match up and go against the main panel. So it's down to you if you choose to give them a border or not, or if you choose to just cut one edge or the other, or if you wish to go for larger edges, or maybe you're going to do these on the side of your card, so you only want one place or one side in place to cut out. So loads and loads of different ways we can use those. I know it sounds silly, but having 3 different components opens up a lot of scope for you. This is one I've already cut earlier, and I've taken away the top and the bottom to make this like little wraparound piece. Now we could of course match this up like you see with Wendy's frame. It will match up perfectly if you want to. I believe we can even inlay it back into the previous piece, so you can cut it again if you want to. But I would just match it side by side. It's going to be easier for you. Send it through and carry that on if that's something you would like to do. For my project, we're going to come in and we're going to cut away these 2 pieces so that we have got this just as a strip running through the middle. And then from here, I would die cut a frame and I would pop that into the frame. So I've already done that for speed because I had a feeling by this stage tonight, you'd probably be getting bored of me. Honestly, the waffle. Maybe more Christmas and more time to play with it like that. We could all do with more time, couldn't we, Sheila? So on this one, I've added the postage stamp edge and the stitch line around the edge to create that effect, and then the lace in the middle. We're then going to bring in our hot air balloon, which is already decorated, and we're going to add that on the top. Now I resisted temptation with this card to add in a sentiment, but you've absolutely got room there if you'd like to bring in maybe like the banner and stamp a little stamp onto the banner. Now, one of the things you will have seen throughout this collection that we've been using a lot of is the Floral Lace sentiment stamps. These again will be available on the show. They don't have a matching die, but of course you've got this banner die, which lots of these fit onto. but they are part of the Floral Lace collection. So they will be available on the shows. These are already available, and there's lots of different sentiments and verses on them. Happy birthday, thinking of you, sending hugs, best wishes, birthday wishes, get well soon, sent with love. And then you've got some bigger versey bits saying, sending you all the wishes in the world for the happiest year ahead. Sending love and wishes on your most magical day, wishing you the most magical birthday filled full of love, presents, cake and wishes for the year ahead. And then lastly, hoping you have the most fantastic day filled full of birthday magic to help you celebrate this special day. So you've got lots of those that would of course match in and go on with that banner element if you wanted to stamp a little sentiment to finish that one off. But I really didn't want to cover up the lace, to be honest with you. I really like the filigree elements, so I didn't want to cover that. But that gives you your 2 different demos this evening. So do we have a winner, Peter?
We do indeed.
Oh, come on then, let's tell them who's won.
We need our little drum roll, didn't we?
We need a little sound effect, a little button maybe.
We do.
Highlight, we did it with a tapping.
They'll probably get annoyed with it though.
Probably, sorry.
But no, congratulations for the choice of colour blue. So if you chose
Who chose blue? Who's going to be our winner?
It goes to Samantha Grant. So congratulations,
lovely.
Samantha.
Congratulations, Samantha. So if you can pop us over your address on a private message to the page, that would be brilliant. And can you let us know if you would like the cards signed? Because if you don't, then that's fine. We'll leave them blank. If you wish to give them on, or if you prefer, we can sign them for you if you'd like to keep hold of them. Just please let us know either way, and we will do as requested. Are there any questions or bits we've missed before we do a quick run through of the collection, and then we're going to leave them all in peace?
No, I don't think so. I think my comments are frozen before, so.
Do you want to steal
None
mine
that
so
I
you can
can
have a
see.
little look? No? We do
Apologies
suffer a
if we
bit
missed.
with comments and bits. So if you've asked a question and we've missed it, please let us know again and we'll try and catch it so that we can answer that for you before we let you go. Now I'm just going to run through the new bits for you once more. If you do have any questions, then let us know and we'll answer them as well as we go through them. But there are 5 new dies. We'll just cover the new bits for you instead of going through everything for you because I'm conscious of your time. But there are 5 new dies. You've got the lace butterfly die. You have got the hot air balloon die, which is the lace balloon, giving you 3 different dies in that set. We then have for you the flower set. This is your lace flowers, giving you the deboss elements and the outlines, as well as a couple of filigree panels. We then have the lace square, again bringing you all of the floral elements to go with the stamp set, as well as the lace itself in the square format. And then lastly, we have the lace border die set. And of course, all of these have got matching stamps to go alongside them, and several of them have got matching stencils and matching MDF as well. And then we cannot forget that beautiful new glitter, which of course we've got the boards to share with you as well, just in case you haven't seen enough sparkle this evening. But you've got your 4 new glitters: aquamarine, Larimar, pink sapphire and violet sapphire, which are going to bring 4 new additions to that beautiful collection we already released of the black, the silver, the gold and the rose just last month, I believe. So yeah, lots and lots of sparkle to add into that Gemstones collection. So if you have any questions, if you catch up with this after the event, don't worry, let us know in the comments and I will try my very best to answer them for you. Of course, you can join us on Thursday and Friday, where we'll also be able to answer your questions as well. Don't forget show times are Thursday 9 AM and 12, and then Friday we're with you for 2 hours from 10 till 12. We'll also be bringing back on Friday the 12 o'clock show, and possibly on the Friday show we'll be bringing back the lovely Cuddly Clan for its second outing as well, and bringing you a bit more inspiration with all of them lovely characters, which it's been amazing actually. And this is something, if you haven't already joined the lovely group that we've got created with Jamie Rodgers Crafts, please do come and join it and share with us what you've been creating with our products. Loads of you have already been sharing what you've been doing with the Cuddly Clan, and it's really lovely to see what you've been doing with that collection, along with lots of the other ones. And it's really nice as well getting to see where you're mixing and matching between collections and putting different bits and bobs together, because that really does spark off so many new ideas for all of us. So a bit like Lynn's done that beautiful hot air balloon card with the mechanical collection. The more items we bring you the more interchangeability there is between them. And it's always lovely to see your ideas and your sort of mixes and matches coming out. So yeah, come and join in on the group if you haven't already. And also, if you haven't yet, and you're somebody who likes YouTube and watches YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube as well. We're desperately trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so we can broadcast live for our Monday Night Natters on there as well. So I'm going to leave you all in peace. But don't forget, if you can, join us for the shows on Thursday and Friday. If not, we'll be back next Monday with our next Monday Night Natter, where we'll be bringing you some demos from this collection to give you a bit more inspiration with it, and celebrating Stockist launch day as well. But yeah, there's lots going on, so make sure you join in with it. Good night from me.
It's good night from me.
We haven't said good night on Hostage Cam, have we? Say good night on Hostage Cam.
Take care, guys. Thank you. Good night. See you next week.
Thank you all very much for joining us. Can't wait to see what you create with this collection. Bye for now, all of you. Have a good evening, and thank you for being with us. It's never taken for granted. Night, all.
Night.